Writing it can be both painful and joyful at the same time, which is really interesting, right? How something can be both painful and joyful.
It was so funny. I was talking to my wife this morning because I went skiing yesterday, and she automatically assumes, because skiing is my favorite thing to do on earth,
Right.
that like I had an amazing time. And I said to her, I said, Joy, you got to understand, skiing, like writing, like my relationship with you, these are all marriages. They're lifelong things. There are good days. There are bad days.
Right.
There are days where you go do the thing that you love the most in the world, and it just punches you in the mouth 60
Right.
times. Like that's what it is. Like
So
you
true.
can't, just because it's my favorite thing in the world. You know what I mean? So I always, and I think that's the same with everybody. I distrust people who are like, oh my God, this is the thing I do, and it's like the thing that I do that I love the most also means that I am being vulnerable to the fact that it can break my heart faster than almost anything else.
I love it. Well, and that's like people get happiness so wrong. They think happiness is a perpetual state of pleasure.
Yes.
And it's not, right? It's engagement with something at a level where you are content in spite of the highs and the lows, right?
I think that's totally true. The other thing that's interesting, people think the scale goes from pain to pleasure, that we're on, like there's this pain to pleasure scale, and that's how we actually work. But it's not true. If you look at the data, extreme pain is the worst that we feel on earth, but the best we feel is always group flow. And that's what people rate as, and the thing, group flow or flow, a great deal of the time when you're in flow or group flow, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's
Like,
experience
think
of
about
discomfort,
athletes
right?
in flow,
And a
like
little
you're
bit of fear.
physically in pain, right? The flow allows you to forget the fact that you're in pain, but like it's not exactly pleasure. And so I think it's from the thing that you get in group flow, and flow is, I say it gives you 360-degree creativity, meaning you're performing at your best. So any direction you go in, you're going to be your best at, right? So it's the most fluid you can be. With a group in flow, it's even bigger because you've got, everybody can go in different directions together. So you've got a lot of options. I think it's between no choice, which is what's so rough about extreme pain. All you can do is focus on the pain. There's no room for anything else, to group flow, which is maximum choice. I think it's no choice to maximum choice that is actually what we call pleasure pain, because pleasure pain doesn't govern human behavior, as you just pointed out, the way we think it does. It doesn't actually add up into what we see in the world and what we experience as performers.
This is true. And this is what training, or repetition and training and realism and training, and like your training for park skiing, what it does is it narrows the gap between the pleasure and pain, through that repetition of training and learning new skills and constantly, facing the unknown, which you could say is like the fear factor. What is unknown is really what is, creates the sense of fear. So you eliminate the fear. We talked about this on your podcast, by moving closer to that. And so what you end up doing is you have a much narrower band of range or band between pain and pleasure, right? And so you can bounce between them really quite rapidly.